Let's go ahead and start this live. Welcome everyone, welcome. Hopefully you guys can hear my voice compared to the music in the background. If not, let me lower it and let me know. Okay, I take that as a yes. You're good? All right, perfect. All right, we're getting more people in here now. Awesome. Okay, we got 2 confirmations there. All right, so we have some basic objectives here for tonight's live stream here. It's pinned there, so if you guys can't see it, let me know. You should be able to see it though. Okay, so Oh wow, we have 3 likes already. Nice, nice, nice. 4 likes now, even before we start. Awesome. So what we're seeing on futures right now. So let's go over. Actually, let's go over what happened with earnings, right? So Microsoft and Google were the big ones that everyone had their eyes on, and they absolutely bombed, right? They didn't beat any of the expectations on earnings and revenue. And for specific data like cloud revenue from Google, was all right. Okay, it wasn't a huge beat, but it's pretty interesting because the overall sentiment for earnings for both Microsoft and Google were pretty bearish, and the numbers that they provided weren't good overall, and it's very interesting that they've actually reacted positively after hours. So I think for us to really see any type of a continuation of the price tomorrow to the upside is if the market holds, right? And with also major earnings like Enphase Energy or ENPH, Visa, Chipotle, they all had a pretty good positive bullish after hours reaction. So I think it's a great possibility that we can see a continuation to the upside, with other, for example, Microsoft, right? The earnings and revenue complete miss, right? And with Microsoft though, okay, people have been trying to find bullish reasons that the reasons why we have such a great bullish after hours price action, and to be honest, for me, for Microsoft, I think it's just a company that just makes sense, that it's an essential type of business, right? No matter what economic situation the world is in, businesses need Microsoft, their products and services, especially their high income consumers and businesses, right? So people who spend a lot at Microsoft and are in need of Microsoft products. I think that's the reason why I think even with such bad earnings and bad revenue for the quarter, investors are still more concentrated on the fact that Microsoft is still going to be very much needed in the near-term future, and it's going to be a necessary part of other people's businesses. And I think that's the overall reason why we've been seeing some very, very good bullish price action for after hours. But yeah, that's basically it for earnings there. But we can move on to the overall markets here, and I want to go over SPY futures first. So futures is already showing that effect from earnings, right? And we opened up with a nice big gap up, and we pushed up higher, and we're still succumbing to that 3960 to 3965 area. And I've been talking about this area since last week. And for us to really push out of that range, we need to have a even bigger catalyst than just Microsoft and Google earnings. And FOMC meeting is going to be tomorrow, right? So with ES acting overall bullishly overnight, and for the fact that the 10 and 21 estimates are starting to curl upwards again, and with the 10 crossing the 50 here, all right, just provides more stability for bulls here, and we can potentially have another second leg higher. But here's the thing, and here is my biggest fear for this week. All right, we did this type of movement back in mid May, so late May and early June. Okay, and when we did this type of movement where we had such big volatility to the upside and to the downside every single trading day, we eventually moved lower as we had that catalyst, which was the CPI data that came out in early June. So who knows, tomorrow might just be the big catalyst where we can see that big movement lower back to the downside, and that's kind of the big risks and fear that I have for the market, as we've just been consolidating, right, between a large range of 3,920 to around 4,000, and we did that back in mid-May and early June, right? We did the exact same thing here. So if we do the same thing that we saw back in early June and late May, there's a possibility that we can see continuous micro volatility between each trading day, and then maybe, just maybe, over the weekend into next week, we might see that big movement to the downside, or by tomorrow we might just see that big breakout to the downside. So if we translate SPY futures to SPY itself, okay, I expect us to open up around 393.50 to 394. All right, that's what after hours are showing as well. But if pre-market action continues to hold from the after hours price action, we should be opening up around 394 at the very least, if not at least 393.50. Okay, so watch out for that open, and watch out for the 10 SMA to break above and cross above the 50 SMA, and that'll be a great bullish signal for the rest of the week. Okay, but I told my CFS Stream Watch members today before the close that I could expect a bounce in the markets either by the end of today at the market close or by tomorrow. And obviously I was correct, but I could have been wrong as well, because it's a 50-50 as we had some major earnings with Microsoft and Google. But if there weren't any earnings, I would have most likely taken in some calls to swing overnight, as we've been holding this 50 SMA really well throughout the entire day with lower volume, right? The average volume is at 72.96 million, while today's volume was 52.94 million. So with this daily 50 SMA hold, tomorrow might just prove that we can have another move higher and possibly break out of this descending level of resistance again and retest that 396 whole number resistance level, and possibly come back to this 396 and 400 range, right? Just remember though, this 396 to 400 range is a very, very heavy level of supply. We saw that back in Friday of last week, and yesterday as well, as we could not hold and break above 396. Okay, so watch out for a potential gap fill tomorrow as well, especially if we do gap up and open up around 394, because that's going to be sitting right at this descending level of resistance, and it could be a good play to the downside if you start filling the gap. And if you do decide to get in near market open, guys, make sure you take profits around 392 and possibly another retest of this daily 50 SMA, which should be around 390 to 391. All right, so those are my potential moves for SPY, and that finishes our second objective for tonight. And then let's go over FOMC. Okay, so Joey said 50 SMA retest, break and retest. Yes. So if the gap fill does, you showed us a while back. Yes, exactly. Yes, I showed this a while back, and that this can happen, right? And that's exactly what we got, right? And my technical analysis tends to be correct. So hopefully you guys are keeping close attention and understand what I'm saying as well. If you guys don't, make sure you guys always ask, and I'll be willing to answer. But with SPY here, like I said, if there is another gap fill tomorrow, which can happen, especially if Microsoft and Google earnings start to provide a gap fill on their own respective individual price action, then the markets can follow, right? So let's go with that third objective now, our last and third objective for tonight. Let's talk about FOMC results and the Federal Reserve conference with Jerome Powell, right? With the press and, well, it's a press interview basically, or press review, right? And FOMC, people and analysts are expecting a 75 basis points reveal with the interest rate. So they're just going to keep the same interest rates from the previous period of when they convened and decided which interest if they're going to increase interest rates or not. And they did that before, right? They increased it to 75 BP from 50, right? And so a lot of people are saying that this time around they're going to stick with 75 BP, and that makes sense because they're trying to, well, they're actively seeing economic data coming in, right? Just like us, and they're using that economic data. They're trying to gauge whether or not they want to increase to that one whole percentage point that everyone has been eyeing them to do, right? And it's also going to tell them whether or not they don't want to increase rates by one whole percentage point, right? So tomorrow's going to be very, very crucial, because if you do go to that critical number of one whole percentage point, right, the markets will react very, very harshly to the downside, right? So remember that. And it's just one of those things that I think the Federal Reserve is going to be kind of moving conservatively from this point forward. And it's one of those things that I think you can't really gauge whether or not the market is going to react positively or negatively, because the market can still react negatively if the Federal Reserve decides to stick with that 75 BP. Because if they do, then people can take it as, oh, it seems like the Federal Reserve is also, again, lagging behind inflation once more, right? Because in the previous FOMC results, they said that they will be staying ahead of inflation. They're going to be front-loading interest rates to get ahead of inflation, right? But if they decide to stick with the 75 basis points for this meeting tomorrow and the results, people can take that as a negative sign that the Federal Reserve is starting to fall back again, and they will start lagging behind inflation once more, right? So it's one of those risks that you just have to think about for tomorrow before FOMC results come in. Okay, but like I said, the consensus expected results for the interest rates tomorrow will be 75 basis points, right? So it's going to be the same as the previous FOMC results. So you have my puts ready? Yeah. So make sure you guys are hedged, and just remember to not over leverage to one side. Okay. Hey, welcome guys, welcome. Can we get to 10 likes tonight as well? We'll see. So that kind of concludes our 3 objectives for tonight. Does anyone else have any questions? And guys, if you guys are wondering what Joel said here, the 50 SMA retest, and he said that you showed us that a while back. Well, I did, right? Because on SPY here, I've been telling you guys that there's most likely going to be a pullback back into that daily 50 SMA, and once we do that, we'll bounce. However, I was a bit uncertain of what I said there, because, well, we have such a monumental week, and I said that in the previous week. So, if you did not have any earnings or any economic data that was coming in this week, and any earnings, right, and the FOMC results, I would have gotten calls today, right, at the end of the close of the market today. So, obviously I didn't do that, because why would I? Because we have such big earnings today with Microsoft, Google, Visa, EMPH, Enphase Energy, right, and Chipotle. So, Joel, you said, what are you drinking tonight? What do you think? Guess. Can anyone guess what I'm drinking tonight? It's gonna be a very, very boring liquid. It's just water. Good old H2O. Joe, you said, I sent you levels for SPY when you get a chance, my good sir. Thank you, on the Discord. Oh, okay, yeah, sure. I'll check that once I'm done with the live stream. Thank you for sending me that. But yeah, guys, like I said, the technical analysis has been spot on so far, and SPY Futures has been showing that as well, that we're getting that bounce after reclaiming, retesting and bouncing on the 50 SMA. Okay, so hopefully we can continue to the upside, but if you don't, get ready because we will most likely be chopping for the entirety of the morning until FOMC results come out at 11 o'clock Pacific Standard Time or 2 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. And Jerome Powell's conference will start, the press conference will start at 11:30 or 2:30 p.m. Okay, depending on where you guys are at the time zones. Does that make sense? All right, so Joel, tea, hey, that could have been true as well. I was debating on whether or not I could drink tea or just water, but I chose water. So, yeah, does anyone else have any questions on what I just said right now? And if you guys have just joined right now, make sure you guys take a look back at the recording, which will be uploaded right after the live stream is done. It's an automatic default kind of thing where YouTube will automatically just put out the recording on my channel after my live stream is finished. Okay, so make sure you guys go back to the first 10 to 15 minutes. Okay, because that's where I spill the tea on everything. Joel, thank you for the inspiration. But yes, I do spill the tea on all the 3 objectives that I have for you all on the pinned message right here in the live chat. Okay, so guys, we do have some essential earnings coming out as well on Thursday. We have, I believe, Apple on Thursday. Yep. And Amazon as well. Apple and Amazon always tend to have the same earnings date, which is kind of annoying, but hey, I think they just intentionally do that, to be honest. And then there's some other big earnings as well, but Apple and Amazon will be the main focus on Thursday night. Okay, right after earnings, right after market close, excuse me. So, let me actually go over Amazon here. So Amazon should open up around $117 tomorrow, at least 117.50, maybe even higher. But it does have a gap to fill at the top here because today we opened with the gap down. There's another name to look at with Amazon, Shopify, right? Shopify opened up with the gap down as well, and Shopify has earnings tomorrow pre-market. All right, so I'm going to be watching this as well since this was, and this is in the CFO Stream Watch newsletter for this week. All right, so hopefully, Shop does well, which I don't think it will, but maybe the earnings reaction is going to be positive because why not? We saw Microsoft and Google do that, so why can't Shop do that as well? Okay, so Shopify, even if it does bad and the guidance is lowered, we can still see a nice big positive run up in pre-market. I mean, it's completely crazy and absolutely hideous that the price action is doing that for Microsoft and Google. But hey, we gotta work with what we have, right? All right, does anyone else have any chart requests that they want me to go over for tonight? If not, I'm going to end this live stream early. I'm basically just regurgitating the same thing that I've been saying for the last week and a half or so, or even 2 weeks back. So just like what Joel said here on the live chat, the 50 SMA retest, I said that a while back. I believe I said that, and I showed you guys that 2 weeks ago as well. So hey, props to me, right? Why not? I can be a little bit of a bragger today. Everything has been coming true with SPY, right? So hey, props to me. Good job to me. I'll give myself a good pat on the back, right? But yeah, guys, if you guys don't have any chart requests, I'm going to be ending this live short. I have a lot more stuff to do for the YouTube channel and for the content, so look out for that. If you guys haven't looked at the most recent video, okay, I talk about why you should never trade earnings. All right, you guys should absolutely watch that video. You guys absolutely should, okay, because if you guys don't, well, you guys will be suffering for the rest of your trading lives. I'm not trying to be pessimistic, but you guys should watch it, really. Okay, very, very important that you guys watch this video, okay? Let me put it in the live chat here. There you go. Joey said you do the work, so kind of have the right to break. Hey, that's exactly right. That's exactly right. We're speaking facts today, man. Absolute facts. Yeah, it looks like people aren't. I'm sure people are only focusing on SPY tomorrow, so But we're chilling for tonight. Absolutely chilling. Oh, also guys, if you guys want to hedge, we might want to look at UVXY. Okay, and the reason for that is that we had some great call volume coming in as well, even though it's down after hours. Well, obviously, due to the reasons mentioned already in this live. But if you take a look at VIX, right, the volatility index, we're sitting right at that 200 SMA. And guess what? When we try to break down, we came right back above it. Okay, and usually volatility becomes increasingly high whenever VIX is above that 25 number. Okay, and why? Well, if you take a look at the past, whenever we reach 25, we have an absolute wild ride above 25, and the VIX tends to pop up above 25, right? We did it multiple times in the past year and a half. So that's the reason why I think if we go above 25 again, then we can have a nice big burst in volatility as VIX decides to run up with a lot of ferocity. Okay, so this is the trend line here, okay, that I'm seeing for VIX. So if we decide to move up above 25, then we're screwed. No, just kidding, we're not screwed. That's the reason why you guys have to play UVXY calls. Okay, this will be the play here, above $12, and we should be able to hit 13 if the FOMC results tomorrow brings out a wave of volatility. Okay, just a ferocious big move in VIX to the upside. Okay, so that is it for tonight, guys. We're about to hit that 30-minute mark. So if you guys enjoyed this live stream, make sure you guys leave a thumbs up. Even for the people who are just watching the recording, leave a thumbs up and leave a comment down below what you guys think about FOMC results tomorrow. All right, have a great rest of your night, and I'll see you guys tomorrow at the same time, 8:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time or 11:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Okay, good luck trading tomorrow and have a great rest of your night. See you guys all on another video.